So the Rockets just lost against the Los Angeles Lakers tonight, 142-132, in a game where Şengün went off for 33, 15, and 6 with 4 blocks in just 37 minutes played on a pretty efficient 14 of 17 from the field and 2 of 7 from 3. Now, we're going to be talking about why he's probably the best player on the Rockets right now, but we'll get into the box score here pretty quickly, talking about just some of the best players on the Rockets overall. So, like I said, Şengün 33, 15, and 6 with 4 blocks. Jalen Green 23 points and 5 rebounds with 3 assists. Eric Gordon 19 points and 2 rebounds with 8 assists. Kenny Martin Jr. 17 points and 7 rebounds. And finally, Jabari Smith with 14 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. So, yeah, Şengün, he's been looking really great as of late, and I would argue has been the Rockets' best player alongside KPJ. I mean, Jalen Green as of late hasn't been looking too hot, and the reason for that is he's been pretty inefficient, and I think a lot of Rockets fans have seen his play style over the last couple months, I want to say. He hasn't looked the same, especially compared to last season. I mean, you can see his play style now compared to back then. He's lacking the drive to be that player. I mean, his efficiencies are just really low. I mean, 41% from the field and 33% from 3. Very bad, and almost 3 turnovers per game, which is also something you don't want to see from your guy. I mean, you can give him some slack. He's only 20 years old, but I mean, we would have expected him to at least make the jump to be a more efficient player. Now, I still believe in Jalen Green. I really do, but he's not playing like the best player right now, and in fact, that's just outprinting Şengün. So we'll get into Şengün's stats right now. He's averaging around 14.5 points per game, around 8.5 rebounds, and around 3 assists on around 55% from the field and 23% from 3. So, yeah, Şengün, he's been looking great as of late, and looking at his stats from this month alone in January, he's averaging around 15 points per game, 8 rebounds, and around 5 assists, and on around 56% from the field and around actually 100% from 3. So, yeah, I mean, he's been, I don't know, he's been very amazing for the Houston Rockets, and compared to last season, when he's finally getting at least 30 minutes per game, I mean, he's been absolutely balling. So, yeah, don't let the 100% from 3 mislead you. I mean, he only took 1 3, and that was against the Clippers. But then this game, I mean, he made a lot of threes today. I mean, he made, 2 of 2. So he's still 100% from the 3, which is pretty great, but only in 3 threes. So, you can take what you want from that. But, yeah, Şengün, the reason I want to make this video is that Steven Silas, he just fails to see that Şengün working in the post as sort of the hub for the offense is something that's going to help the Rockets in the long term. I mean, especially with guys like Jalen Green and KPJ. Ball movement is really a problem for this team, and it was really shown today. I mean, there was a play today where Şengün is in the post, and he couldn't really get a good post up or good positioning, and there were no guys just cutting, no guys making some off-ball screens, no guys doing anything off-ball. They were just ball watching, so it's a lot harder. Especially, when guys like Jalen Green are just ball watching on the corner, waiting for a 3. Jabari Smith in the corner, ball watching, waiting for a 3. So, I mean, we need some ball movement in this offense, and Şengün can definitely be that guy, being the hub of the offense in the post. I mean, he had 6 assists today, being a center. So, yeah, I mean, Şengün, his passing ability, his playmaking ability is probably the most underrated thing about his game, and what he's able to do at the center position is definitely something you can't really take for granted, and something you don't really see at all. I mean, if you look at the last previous guys, I mean, centers especially, I mean, Nikola Jokic is pretty much the closest player comp you can have to this guy. They do play similarly. I mean, Şengün is 6'11", 240 pounds. I mean, he plays pretty similarly to Nikola Jokic. I would like him to at least develop a three-pointer at least, but, he's still very young, and he's a high ceiling and a lot of upside. So, I mean, the 3-ball can come later on in his career, but what he's doing right now is definitely going to be something that the Rockets want to incorporate into their offense for years to come. I mean, looking at this guy being the hub of the offense is just something that a lot of Rockets fans really hope to see someday, especially with Steven Silas gone. Hopefully, a new coach can kind of incorporate Şengün's style of play, being in the hub, posting up, getting those just pick and rolls. I mean, the pick and roll between Jalen Green and Şengün, they need to run that a lot more, and I don't know why we don't. Maybe it's because it doesn't work sometimes, which that's completely wrong, because a lot of times it does work, and Jalen Green's ability to run the pick and roll has definitely improved from last season, and especially Şengün being able to roll pretty greatly now compared to last season. I mean, that should be able to work, and with KPJ out now, it's a lot easier to run the offense when there's not two guys playing iso ball on the team, shouting out Jalen Green and KPJ. But I mean, the ball movement last game and this game especially was a little bit better compared to when KPJ is on the floor. So you can take what you want from that. I mean, having a good point guard on this team can definitely help Şengün's development in terms of, being a guy that can catch lobs. I mean, having a true point guard that can realize the mismatch that Şengün has in the post, and honestly just kind of work with his hub game in the post and just run the offense through him. So you guys can let me know what you guys think about Alperen Şengün. I mean, definitely one of the most interesting prospects on the Houston Rockets with them being pretty young. So hopefully he's also here for the long run. I mean, I remember at the start of the season, a lot of guys had Bruno Fernando starting over Şengün, and they really wanted that to make sense. And on paper, it kind of does. I mean, Bruno Fernando, a little bit of a better defender, but Şengün with the upside, with the ceiling. I mean, him being very young, has a lot of upside. I mean, why not start that guy? The guy that we traded Christian Wood to the Dallas Mavericks for so that he can get the starting center minutes. So yeah, Şengün, the most impressive player on the Houston Rockets right now. And I would even go as far to say that he's been the best player on the Houston Rockets so far. He tried his hardest today against the Los Angeles Lakers. Couldn't get it done, and he was definitely the best player for the Houston Rockets tonight. It just wasn't enough to pull out the W against the Lakers. So you guys can let me know what you guys think about Şengün. You guys see him as a piece for the future? Because in my eyes, it depends on if Victor Wembanyama gets drafted here. If he does, then I feel like Şengün might be moved to more of a six-man type of role. So that's the end. My name is GTC. Give me peace.